What I'm doing today is replacing the sprayer hose for my kitchen. The hose itself actually has a leak, so I'm just going to change the whole thing out. And luckily for me, someone put a cutoff valve for the hot and cold water underneath the sink, and that means I can cut the water off and try to wedge right back there. I think you can see it. There you go. That's the hose that I want to take out. It's kind of tied up in there, but I'm going to attempt it and try to replace the whole thing. And then I got to come over here. If you look right up there, that I have to get to too. And I have big man hands. And I'm overwhelmed with excitement to be doing this home improvement project, because what I've learned about having my own home is that your house is out to get you. It's out to get you. So what I'm going to do is take these pliers. They're an adjustable set of pliers. I have more than one. And I'm going to take the other end of this hose, which is connected right here, out from underneath. I showed you that just a few seconds ago. And then I'm going to take these pliers right here, which are like an adjustable wrench set, and go underneath and take this off from underneath. And I don't know if I'll be able to show you that because it's so tight in there, but I'll try. A little note is I have an under cabinet light that I was going to put up, and I realized, wow, I'm doing all this plumbing, and I can actually plug it in and have light under there where I'm working, because it's cramped enough and hard enough to see. So we're going to do that. I'm going to take everything else out from under here too. I took most of my junk up and put it up here. Now invariably what happens, which is what's happening here because I'm in an old house, is somebody put a shelf right here, and I don't really know how it's attached. But what I do know is it's in my way and I can't access anything from this side. So we're going to get rid of that. Okay, so it's my house, you know, and I had a cabinet under here that the guy who put the cabinets in before had installed, and it was so in the way. And I never used it, so I just knocked it out of there. I was like, I would rather be able to, you know, work on this. And now I have free access to that. I can lay in here and get to everything I need to. Before, this little shelf was right here where my head would be. Screw that. So what you see here is I bought this wrench, and it actually fits over and under the sink, and it has a spot where you can take this out and run the hose through it. But I'm not trying to save the hose, so I just cut it off to be able to get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this left, and this is my sink drain thing. Well, actually, this is where the hose is connected to it. And I'm just going to pull that off, and I'll put the other one back in. It's slipping a little bit, but that's because I'm filming with one hand. But you see how tight it is in here. It's like I had to take the shelf out because there's just no way on God's green earth I was ever going to get in here. But this actually works very well. I'll show you that to you in a second. So I tried the wrenches and everything, but the access just wasn't good enough. And this is what you buy. And actually the piece that fits down here has like a hexagonal shape to it. It's still up there on top of the piece. I left it where it was, so I can just go back and resume and finish this up. But what it does is when you're under a sink, it has this for the drain, so you can pull a drain out, you know, like the little crosshairs in the drain. And it also has this end, which has the hexes in it, which allows you to use this space to get around your hose, and then to still be able to screw it in. It's a little bit difficult. I mean, nothing's easy. They say it's easier than trying to do it with these, which I've tried everything else, and I was like, let me get this sucker out and try it. Maybe that'll be the perfect thing, and it was. It worked very well. And alas, when I'm screwing from underneath, this is just running around in a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my nephew, have him come over and hold this for me while I screw it from underneath, and then it'll come apart. But I'm finding that's a pretty typical thing when you're doing plumbing. Like something slips while you're trying to take it out, and there's either like a special tool for it, or you need two people to deal with it. What a pain in the booty. There you go. We'll get right back on it. Yay! So I'm under the sink, and my best friend Noelle is over here helping me torque the plastic ring. The kids are all running through the house.
I'm at Lauren's house helping him torque.
And now she's smo-yoing.
Fixing the sink.
Everything.
Kids are all running through the house. I'm at Lauren's house helping him torque his plastic ring. Fixing the sink. Torque his plastic ring. Fixing the sink. helping torque this plastic ring you're fixing the sink.
Oh my god, that's all I had to say. Then I'm in here and I'm cussing, and the baby's repeating every cuss word that I said. I'm like, don't say that, don't repeat it.
Fixing the sink.
Oh my. Ah, you gotta have a little fun, you know. Lovely. Hello. That's awesome. So don't repeat the words that I said when I was under the sink, alright? Yeah, those are bad words.
So I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth. Love, this is gonna be hell on earth. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth. Love, this is gonna be hell.
We're gonna set this in the slow, y'all. For YouTube.
Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth.
Alright, that was fun. Back to the grind. So I went on an adventure to the Home Depot to get a shower valve socket wrench because I can't reach in there in that small space. And this is kind of a cool little device. It has a crank on the end, you know, where you can get some leverage. It's long enough to get past the whole basket that's under there, you know, I mean the basin. And then it flips one way or the other, like it flips opposite sides so that you can use it, and then it just kind of opens up like this and grasp onto it, and then you can get the torque to take it off. And then when you want to put it back on, you do it the opposite direction, and this whole thing flips, as you can see, the opposite way. So you can put something on and take it off. And I'm going to try. So I had to call my friend John Paul, who is Noelle's husband, and he came over and he actually got under there because he knows how to make one of these work, because I was not having great success with it. They pinch down, and this lever, this is kind of like the hammer side right here, and then the lever pinches onto it, and you get torque, but it slips a lot. So I'm under there, not having done this before, and going like, am I a retard? Well, you know, John Paul does this all the time, so he came and he checked on me, and I was like, can you please just bail me out, because I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, you put it on there, and the way that you want to turn it is you want the flat end here to be the part that's putting the pressure, and then this clamps and hooks into it. So anyway, we got it done. It's looking kind of pretty, but you know, I was very frustrated. I called for help. And then that's the end result. There you have the sprayer. It basically, everything screws back on the way you saw me unscrew it. It's the screw for the hose screws underneath this, underneath. That was the thing I had such a hard time getting out of there. And then this is the sprayer, and this piece screws from underneath with the nut. Just like I was taking it off earlier, there's a piece that marries to the other end on the other side of the sink. So you see the new hose is married. There's a new guard on there, a whole new piece, and then right here is where I was having a hard time unscrewing the pipe, and that's what John Paul came over and helped me with that wrench. Lovely. It was hell on earth. It was hell on earth, but it's done. I'm pretty happy with it.
So I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth. Love, this is gonna be hell on earth.
So to be more specific, what happens is this has a long hose on the end of it. Before you put this guard on, you feed the end of the hose that's going to attach here through this guard, right? You drop that in the bottom. Then you screw the bottom piece to the top piece, right here from underneath, which is easier said than done, and you might want to call a neighbor like I did. And then you run the hose underneath the sink, just basically like under and looping up, and then back to the water supply, which is under here, and then you screw that back in using that wrench that I showed you, and then it works very well. It's like, you know, but getting it off is much harder than putting it back on. Always when you're putting a new piece on, it's like fairly easy, but taking something off, it's like rusted, corroded, whatever. My house is old.
So I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth. This is gonna be hell on earth. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth. This is gonna be hell.
We're gonna set this in the slow, y'all. For YouTube.
Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself. Yes, I'm repairing my sink and I'm thinking to myself, this is gonna be hell on earth.